guys, and Funape here. Now, I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. It's just that with both mine and David's busy schedules, it was kind of hard to figure out when would be the best time to do it, because of the fact, well, he's got a life, I've got a life, we both got lives. So it was hard for him to complete a Nuzlocke. So, I'm so happy to be bringing back my, well, mini-series slash possibly long-term series about going over what I believe is the rankings for his Nuzlocke teams. This time, he did a Nuzlocke of Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I am interested to give this team a crack at. And this time, I'm not alone in this. I asked David to record himself going over the movesets that he gave his Pokemon and the reasons behind it. That way, I can have a better understanding of what he was thinking during his Nuzlocke. Because for all I know, he could have given his Pokemon some random ass moves and I wouldn't know the reason behind it. Plus, I thought it was a quite decent idea because this way we can be a bit more interactive. Plus, it's borderline a collaboration, so I would never say no to a collab with David. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, if you agree with the rankings, what you thought of his team, and if you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get into the video!
Ring-a-ding-ding, hello everybody. My name is the Dr. Amnesia, and welcome to the interview. So Robert asked me to record this quick clip. It's not really a quick clip, it's like a couple of minutes, just to explain why I use certain moves on my team members. It was something that we discussed a while ago that I think that was a good idea. Or we both think it was a good idea.
I've got all the Pokemon that he's used right here on my phone, so let's have a look-see at the first member. Alright, the first member is a Magneton nicknamed Mark, with the ability Sturdy, and it looks like he's holding a magnet with a neutral nature. And the moveset for it is Thunder Wave, Discharge, Reflect, and Flash Cannon.
Okay, so Thunder Wave is to obviously give some support to my other Pokemon, enabling it to like take out Pokemon, slow them down. So that's like speed control, right? Discharge, damage control, Reflect to put up defenses, allowing it to be able to bring in my other Pokemon more safely. So I'm playing on set mode. So like things like Alakazam, so I've got an Alakazam on my team. That allows Alakazam to come in safely in other Pokemon. So Reflect's a good option. And we've got Flash Cannon to deal some amazing damage. That's Magneton. And obviously I'm playing Magneton because I couldn't evolve it into Magnezone because I'm playing Heart Gold. And me and Rob decided that was against the rules for me to evolve it. So we went with Magneton. So I'm doing this split with a Magneton.
I mean, using Magneton's alright, I guess. I mean, definitely would have been my first pick when it comes to an electric type, but obviously it's a Nuzlocke, he can't choose. So he kind of got stuck with Magneton due to the fact that he couldn't find a Mareep. So with the remaining electric types remaining, literally he only had either Magneton or Jolteon left. And since he spent so much time throwing a tantrum at the Voltorb flip, he decided to ditch the Jolteon he already had and substitute his Magneton in. Now, I don't have like too much beef with the Magneton. Like, nature's alright, good held item, and all around decent stats. And as far as moveset goes, that's probably the best you could do with it. But here's my problem. How are you going to have enough time to set up either Thunder Wave or Reflect when Magneton is slow as hell? Plus, its special defense is extremely fragile. Plus, a major problem is that if he decides to send it up against a Pokemon who's a physical attacker, since Magneton's physical defense is better than its special defense, a lot of common types that Magneton is weak against are primarily physical attackers. So, I don't really see how Magneton could shine in a lot of places. Plus, when it comes to important trainers, he doesn't really shine in a lot of places. You get Magneton after you beat Morty, and it doesn't really do much. Honestly, the best it could probably do, in terms of a super effective damage, against important trainers is Chuck's Poliwrath and Price's Piloswine. I didn't even know it do toe-to-toe against that. And maybe a few Pokemon from the Elite Four. But other than that, I can't really think of too many other things off the top of my head. I will admit the moveset for Magneton is very, very good. But unfortunately, due to it seeing it late in the game, and also because of the thingies that I mentioned earlier, because of the fact that it's not exactly a good Pokemon with setup, and since Sturdy doesn't act like a Focus Sash in this generation, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10. It's still a very good Pokemon, it just has a bit of room to improve, if I'm honest. Plus, if I'm being totally honest, I think he should have stuck with the Jolteon because of the fact that, honestly, I believe that Jolteon was a better electric type. When it comes to electric types, the best one is Ampharos, but if I had to pick a second and best, Jolteon's probably it. The next member of his team is a golem named Chuck, and its moveset is Earthquake, Defense Curl, Strength, and Rock Tomb, with the ability Sturdy, with a speed boosting nature, and also a nature that lowers special defense. I'm not sure how to feel about this one.
Now, I wanted to get rid of Defense Curl and Strength, right? So I didn't get the opportunity to do that because there was not really any moves at that point in the game that I could teach it, because a lot of it is locked behind post-game bars. Unfortunately, before I could get it into post-game, Golem died to a lovely Dragon Rush from, I think it was Lance's Dragonite, so that was grand. But Golem's, obviously Earthquake's self-explanatory, just kills things, dies. You know, Defense Curl was when I had Rollout, so Defense Curl Rollout, strat. If you didn't know, when you use Defense Curl and Rollout, it doubles the power of Rollout. Makes it, instead of 30 base power, 60 base power, 90 base power, and so on and so forth. 120 on the second attack, and then so on and so forth. It just like doubles in power every time. Then you got Strength, obviously, just a handy move to like move boulders and stuff. And then you got Rock Tomb for speed control again. And obviously just a more like reliable attack. I was gonna go for Stone Edge when I got it. So that was just a placeholder, but it died before it got Stone Edge.
Unfortunately, the typings that are necessary to beat a lot of important trainers in this game, like Rock and Ground type, just aren't necessary because of the fact that there aren't a lot of important trainers that are weak to both Rock and Ground types. I mean, it'd be alright against maybe a little bit of early game, but end game, I don't really see you needing both a Rock or a Ground type. So, if I'm being totally honest, I don't understand why David decided to keep it on the team. Still, it's alright. I mean, Golem's not the greatest Rock and Ground type in the world, but it's a option. You know, it's an option. Can't go wrong with it. It's alright. That moveset, though. I understand the reasoning of why he decided to keep Defense Curl and Strength, but I still have to take it into consideration. Earthquake, grand. Rock Tomb, Had it been me, I would have just gone with the grinding, wait for it to get to 49, and then have it learn Stone Edge. Because Stone Edge has a little bit more accuracy. Not to mention that bloody nature it's got. A speed boosting nature is by far the worst thing you could have on a Golem. Literally, the best thing I could probably give it is that it did alright in the Pokemon League. Because when David challenged the Elite Four, I decided to jump on call with him to see if I could help him out a bit. And it did alright in the league, but unfortunately, I don't see how it could really shine. But by the time you get a Geodude, the best it could do is take on the first two gym leaders and possibly do alright against Price, but you'd have to be extremely careful. And maybe a few members of the Elite Four. It'd do well against Lance, but unfortunately, it got KO'd by a Dragon Rush, which was very unfortunate. So, based on that, gonna have to give Golem a 3 out of 10 on this one. I do really like the fact that Golem did pretty well, but unfortunately, I have to take all the cons I mentioned previously into consideration. His third member is an Alakazam with the nickname Renamon. It's got a nature that boosts its special attack but lowers its speed with the ability Inner Focus, and it's not holding an item. Unfortunate. And its moveset is Shadow Ball, Calm Mind, Recover, and Psychic.
Shadow Ball was just to hit, like, ghost types with something super effective. It was quite nice to have. Nice special attack. Calm Mind, again, was to get it more defensive. Get the sweep set up as well for the special attack increase. Again, this thing had a special attack increase nature, so this thing was insane, by the way. 160 it is currently, because I'm playing through post-game. But I believe it was like 150 something, maybe. I don't know. Like, I think it's like 155, 156, something like that. But it's like currently 160. I don't remember. You'll have the stats in the video. I don't remember what it was. But Psychic and is the last move there. Honestly, it just sweeps on it and recovers just there in case I need to throw it out there. While I'm setting up, if I like got it fully set up, I can use Recover to like recover its HP and then just go sweep, 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 sweep. Honestly, Alakazam took down Bruno on his own. Alakazam, absolute menace.
In my personal opinion, so far, this is the best member on his team. So, honestly, Alakazam is actually on my best team for Heart Gold Soul Silver. A good replacement would be Espeon if you aren't able to do the trade evolution. But, honestly, Alakazam is an absolute monster. You basically get it for free as long as you get 200 coins in Voltorb Flip. And honestly, it is a monster. All you need to do is get it up one level, you get a Kadabra. Trade it over, you've got an Alakazam. Within 2 gym battles. Honestly, that is just absolutely mental. Plus, that moveset is actually pretty decent. I personally would have swapped Recover for something else. Possibly maybe, I don't know, maybe Focus Blast or possibly Reflect. But that's just my personal opinion. Still, the nature, the ability, it's all really good. I personally would have I would have researched to see if it was possible to maybe get an item that can either boost one of its moves, or maybe a support item to help it last longer in battle. But still, it's a great Pokemon. Alakazam is easily a 9 out of 10. By far, the best member he has so far. It's just an absolute monster. Had he maybe changed things around a little bit slightly, I feel like I could have given him a bit of a higher score. But other than that, it's a really good Pokemon. Member number 4, we've got Tony, which is also an Arcanine. And it's got a nature that boosts its special defense and lowers its speed. Unfortunate. With the ability Flash Fire and holding a Charcoal. With the moves Crunch, Extreme Speed, Dragon Pulse, and Flamethrower. Not bad, but not absolutely outstanding.
Reason I did start with Typhlosion, but my Typhlosion died. Funny enough to a Sneasel. Sneasel crit and killed. I didn't calculate it properly. Stupid me. Funny that Typhlosion died to a type that's stronger than it, but there it is. Mess up on my part. But to be honest, I think Arcanine just does way better anyway. Honestly, this is just amazing because Crunch, just a great coverage move. You got Extreme Speed to deal with that priority damage if I need it. Basically just an overpowered quick attack, right? Then you got Dragon Pulse just to take down those Dragonites, man. And Dragon is just an OP type anyway. You Flamethrower for the stab. I always run Charcoal on that just to get that 20% boost. Grand. Honestly, just grand. This Pokemon's moveset just covers stuff, right? And to have this good of a moveset in a Nuzlocke has just been a blessing, because this Nuzlocke has dragged me through the dirt.
Moveset brilliant. Nature, not the best, but he can't control the nature, obviously. Unless he had Synchronize on his Alakazam, then it probably would have been a little bit better, but then it would have had a speed lowering nature anyway. As the Pokemon itself, as far as I can tell, it's probably the second best fire type you can get, apart from the starter. Literally, I told David to try his best to keep his starter alive, because it's the best starter in the game. And I told him repeatedly, when he could, to change its moveset to Flamethrower, Sunny Day, Solar Beam, Earthquake. Because then, it would have been an absolute beast. But, obviously he can't control when something dies and when something doesn't die. But, anyway, it is a pretty decent Pokemon, to be fair. I have used Arcanine a few times in this game, and honestly, it is a brilliant Pokemon if you decide not to go with Typhlosion. But as a species as a whole, I personally prefer when you get the fire type as early as you can. Because, think about it, by the time you get Arcanine, there's not a whole lot it can do. It can do some, but not as much as Typhlosion. As for Arcanine's ranking, I decided to give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like it's a great Pokemon, it's just not as great as Typhlosion, but it's still by far the second best Pokemon to pick when it comes to fire types. Because let's be honest, who the hell would want to wait to get a Rapidash? I personally wouldn't. His fifth member is a Lapras called Plesiosaur, neutral nature, water absorb, and holding the Nevermelt Ice. Always could come in handy. With the moves Ice Beam, Surf, Body Slam, and Confuse Ray. Now this is a badass member.
Now Lapras, I don't know if I'm going to run Lapras again. Honestly, Gyarados is just always better. One thing I would say is just, if you have a chance to run a Gyarados, run Gyarados, unless it's like Pokemon Black and White. Or I mean, you can't really run it in Pokemon Black and White anyway. Unless it's, Ultra Sun and Moon, don't run Gyarados. But every other game, I would suggest just run Gyarados, right? Apart from, like, I think, like, Pokemon Leaf Green, don't run Gyarados, or, like, Fire Red Leaf. But, like, every game after that, Gyarados, man. Just, Gyarados is so good. But in this case, please, he just didn't pull his weight as much, I think. I may change into Gyarados later on. Ice Beam, Surf, Body Slam, and Confuse Ray. Like, Power Confuse is pretty good. Ice Beam, Surf, pretty good. I still think Gyarados would have done better here. If I do a rerun, probably going to go with Gyarados instead of Lapras. Maybe that's what I change. Let me know. Like, I'm interested to read the comments of this video. Obviously it's Rob's video, but interested to read the comments to see what you guys think of Gyarados instead of Lapras. I personally think Gyarados because of Intimidate, Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Ice Fang, Earthquake. It's just better for Nuzlocking, but for playthroughs, probably Lapras. Just more coverage, I guess, but Gyarados, right? I didn't go for Thunderbolt because stop playing Voltorb. Like,
I told David repeatedly that he needed to teach Lapras Thunderbolt. I did also recommend to him to keep Perish Song, because think about it. Final member comes out. Final member's destroying you. Send out Lapras. Use Perish Song. Swap out Lapras. You auto-win. You get me? So, honestly, feel like that was a bit of a wasted opportunity. But still, Para Confusion is still a very good strategy. Plus, Surf and Ice Beam is just a staple on Lapras. Plus, also, I did also recommend using the Nevermelt Ice. The Nevermelt Ice definitely came in handy when he was facing those Dragonites. So, yeah, honestly, I feel like it would have... I think you made the correct choice using Lapras over Gyarados. Gyarados is sick. I just personally think that Lapras' Stab Ice plus its defensive stats help it out a little bit more than Gyarados. Lapras is probably the best water type to use in the game if you ask me. I'm sure people like David or Pokemon Challenges himself would say Gyarados, even though he pronounces it Gyarados. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Pokemon Challenges. So, yeah, I personally think in Heart Gold Soul Silver, Lapras does a little bit better. Hence why I'm actually giving it a decent score. Had he had both Thunderbolt and Perish Song, an easy 10 out of 10. But, honestly, I decided to give him an 8 out of 10 on this scenario. Because the moveset is still really good, plus the nature is pretty decent. I personally would have just gone a little bit of an extra mile to make sure that the moveset was as perfect as possible. His final member is Kenya the Thero. Do you remember that gift Thero you get out in Goldenrod? Yeah, that's what he used. With the moveset Roost, U-Turn, Aerial Ace, and Return.
Roost is just for HP, U-Turn just to get out, Drill Peck, damage, and Return for, you know, friendship. That's basically it. And Silk Scarf for boosting. Thero's pretty self-explanatory.
This moveset is definitely very good. Thero, best flyer in the game. Obviously, I think he got rid of Fly on Thero, so that way he could teach it some better moves. But still, it is a very good Pokemon. Had it been me, I would have personally gotten rid of Aerial Ace for Drill Peck. But, obviously, it's David's Nuzlocke. He plays as he played it. Silk Scarf, Friendship Boosted Return, hits very hard. Plus, that speed boosting nature makes it so that Thero gets outsped by next to nobody. So, that's always nice. Plus, if it's in battle, and by some chance it manages to live an attack because its defenses are quite paper thin, you could just use Roost, lose your flying type ability for the rest of that turn, and you also gain some health back. So, that's always fun. So if I were to give this Thero a ranking, it would be a 9 out of 10. Because honestly, had it learned Drill Peck, it would be an easy 10 out of 10. So now we find the mean number, or the average score, to find out what the average score is of this team. So obviously, you add them all up, then and get the combined number. Take the combined number, divide it by how many there are, that's your final score. So, the average score for this team is 7 out of 10. Not, like, outstandingly amazing, but not shit either. This team is definitely very good. And I'm honestly looking forward to seeing how it improves by the time David gets to Red. Assuming he survives that long. And now then, guys, hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, what you thought of my rankings, what you thought of David's team, and if you have any video suggestions for the future, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Also, I want to thank David for helping me out with this video today, and honestly, I hope that he can do this for the next one, or possibly all the other ones that he does in the future. Whether he can, it's hard to say, but here's hoping, if I'm honest, because this was actually quite fun to do. Did you enjoy the video as much as I did making it? If you did, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, share this video with your friends, and if you're new, subscribe to my channel. It's been Inferno today. Okay, that's all from me, so until the next time, this is Infernape, signing off. Bye!